Have you ever been talking to someone and you just get that feeling they're not really listening? Their eyes are glazed over, they're fidgeting with their phone, or they're just waiting for their turn to speak. It's a frustrating experience, right? On the flip side, think about a time someone gave you their full, undivided attention. They made eye contact, nodded along, and asked thoughtful questions. How did that make you feel? Probably seen, heard, and valued. That's the power of great listening. I remember this one time I was going through a really tough patch at work. I was stressed, overwhelmed, and felt like I was failing at everything. I decided to call my friend Alex. I just needed to vent. As I started talking, I expected the usual advice, the "you should do this" or "have you tried that?" But that's not what Alex did. Alex just listened. For a solid 20 minutes, I poured out all my frustrations, my fears, my anxieties. Alex didn't interrupt once. When I finally ran out of steam, there was a brief pause, and then Alex said, "Wow, that sounds incredibly difficult. I'm so sorry you're going through all that." In that moment, I felt a huge weight lift off my shoulders. I didn't need solutions. I just needed someone to understand. Alex's simple act of listening made me feel validated. It made me feel like my struggles were real and that I wasn't just being dramatic. That conversation was a turning point for me, not because Alex solved my problems, but because Alex gave me the space to process them out loud. It helped me untangle the mess in my own head. After that call, I felt more capable of tackling the issues myself. This is why people are so drawn to great listeners. It's not about being a silent wall that people talk at. It's an active, engaging process that builds deep, meaningful connections. Great listeners make people feel safe, respected, and important. It's a rare and valuable skill in our fast-paced, distraction-filled world. And the good news is, it's a skill that anyone can learn and master. So, how do we become one of these amazing listeners that everyone loves talking to? Let's break it down into some practical do's and don'ts. First, let's talk about the big don'ts. These are the common habits that kill conversations and make people feel unheard. The number one offender is interrupting. We often do this without even realizing it. We get excited, we have a similar story, or we think we know what they're going to say next. But when you interrupt, you're basically sending the message, "My thoughts are more important than yours." It completely derails their train of thought and can make them feel like you don't care about what they have to say. So the first rule of great listening is to bite your tongue. Let them finish their entire thought, even if there are pauses. The second major don't is what I call solution mode. This is when someone is sharing a problem, and you immediately jump in with advice. "You should try this," or "Why don't you just do that?" While your intentions might be good, it's often not what the person needs. Like in my story with Alex, I didn't need a 5-point plan to fix my work life. I needed empathy. When you jump straight to solutions, you invalidate their feelings and shut down the emotional component of the conversation. Unless someone explicitly asks for advice, your job is to listen and understand, not to fix. Another don't is planning your response while they're still talking. We've all been guilty of this. Someone is speaking, but in our heads, we're busy crafting the perfect, witty, or insightful thing to say next. When you do this, you're not truly listening. You're just waiting for a gap to insert your own script. Your focus is on yourself, not on them. This leads to superficial conversations where no one really feels heard. And finally, avoid what's called conversational narcissism. This is when you constantly reroute the conversation back to yourself. Your friend says, "I had such a stressful day at work," and you reply, "Oh, you think your day was stressful? Let me tell you about mine." You turn their experience into a launching pad for your own story. It's a subtle form of one-upmanship that completely dismisses their feelings. Now that we know what not to do, let's focus on the DOs. These are the active habits that will transform you into a fantastic listener. The first and most important do is to listen with the intent to understand, not just to reply. This is a mindset shift. Go into every conversation with genuine curiosity. Your goal is to see the world from their perspective, to feel what they're feeling. This means paying attention not just to their words, but to their tone of voice, their body language, and the emotions behind what they're saying. A great practical technique for this is using minimal encouragers. These are small verbal and nonverbal cues that show you're engaged. Things like nodding, saying "hung," "I see," or "go on." It seems simple, but it signals to the speaker that you're tracking with them and encourage them to continue sharing. It's like giving them a green light to keep talking. Next, practice reflective listening. This is where you paraphrase or summarize what the other person has said in your own words. For example, you could say, "So, if I'm understanding you correctly, you're feeling overwhelmed because your workload has doubled, but your boss isn't acknowledging it. Is that right?" This does two incredible things. First, it confirms that you're actually hearing them correctly. Second, it makes the speaker feel deeply understood. It shows you're not just passively hearing words. You're actively processing their meaning. Another powerful do is to ask open-ended questions. Instead of questions that can be answered with a simple yes or no, ask questions that invite more detail. Instead of, "Did you have a good day?" Questions starting with "what," "how," or "tell me more about" open the door for deeper, more meaningful dialogue. They show you're genuinely interested in their world. And don't be afraid of silence. This is a tough one for a lot of people. We often feel the need to fill every empty space in a conversation. But sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is just be quiet. Silence gives the other person space to think, to feel their emotions, and to gather their thoughts. It allows them to go deeper without feeling rushed. A comfortable silence can be more connecting than 1,000 empty words. So, let's tie this all together. How can you apply this in your own life, starting today? Let's create a little action plan. Your first lesson is to practice mindful presence. The next time you're in a conversation, put your phone away, out of sight, out of mind. Turn your body towards the person, make eye contact, and commit to giving them your full attention for just 5 minutes. Treat it like a meditation. Whenever your mind wanders to your to-do list or what you're having for dinner, gently bring your focus back to the person in front of you. Just start with 5 minutes. It's a small, achievable goal. Your second assignment is to use one reflective statement in your next important conversation. After your friend or partner shares something with you, try saying, "It sounds like you're feeling ... double quotes, and fill in the blank." Or, so what you're saying is, pay attention to their reaction. You'll likely see a look of relief or appreciation. It's a game changer. And your third task is to catch yourself before you offer unsolicited advice. The next time someone is venting to you, make a conscious effort to just listen. If the urge to fix their problem is overwhelming, ask this magic question. Are you looking for advice, or do you just need to vent right now? This is an incredibly respectful question. It gives the other person control and ensures you are giving them the kind of support they actually need. Becoming a great listener is like building a muscle. It takes conscious effort and consistent practice. You won't be perfect overnight, and that's okay. There will be times you slip back into old habits. The key is to be patient with yourself and to keep trying. The reward is immense. You'll build stronger, more authentic relationships with your friends, family, and colleagues. You'll become the person people trust and confide in. You'll understand others on a deeper level, and in turn, you'll likely understand yourself better too. Listening is one of the greatest gifts you can give to another person. It costs nothing but your attention, yet it can be priceless to someone who needs to feel heard. So go out there and start practicing. You have the power to make someone's day simply by closing your mouth and opening your ears and your heart. Thanks for watching today. I hope you found these tips helpful. If you did, give this video a like and consider subscribing for more content on communication and building better relationships. What are your biggest listening challenges? Let me know in the comments below. See you in the next one.